Alright, y'all, so I'm back with another Bible reading. I'm just going to try to get through these 2 pages quickly. And again, I do want to start reading 4 pages every day, but today, again, I kind of woke up late and I'm reading this at like 4, and I want to get on and play some games, so I got something to record today. And I will be releasing a Backrooms video soon. I have one already updated, not uploaded. I have one already edited. And it kind of turned out to be a very short video, so I'm gonna record another one and I'm gonna put those together. But for now, I'm gonna do these 2 pages of my Bible, and after that I will record some more videos and I'll try to put out some more stuff. And I want to also record a video soon of me just talking about more how my mood's been and what I'm going through, and just talking about my issues that I face while I'm, struggling with my religion and with, whatever's going on with me, and how my walk with God is going, so I can just be more honest with people. But for right now, I'm going to read my Bible today, and I'm going to just try to get through it. So, let's start. I do got my fan on. I hope that's not I'll turn it down for a second. Okay. Turn it down for just a second, but it is very hot over here in Oregon right now. It's probably around 90 to 80 degrees right now. And David replied, "Yes, sir, it is. Why are you chasing me? What have I done? What is my crime? If the Lord has stirred you up against me, then let him accept my peace offering. But if this is simply the scheme of a man, then may he be cursed by God. For you have driven me out of my home so that I can't be with the Lord's people, and you have sent me away to worship heathen gods. Must I die on foreign soil, far from the presence of Jehovah? Why should the king of Israel come out and hunt my life like a partridge on the mountains?" Then Saul confessed, "I have done wrong. Come back home, my son, and I'll no longer try to harm you, for you saved my life today. I have been a fool and very, very wrong." "Here's your spear, sir," David replied. "Let one of your young men come over and get it. The Lord gives his own reward for doing good and for being loyal. And I refused to kill you even when the Lord placed you in my power. Now, may the Lord save my life even as I have saved yours today. May he rescue me from all my troubles." And Saul said to David, "Blessings on you, my son David. You shall do heroic deeds and be a great conqueror." Then David went away and Saul returned home. But David kept thinking to himself, someday Saul is going to get me. I'll try my luck among the Philistines until Saul gives up and quits hunting for me. Then I will finally be safe again. So David took his 600 men and their families to live at Gath under the protection of King Achish. He had his 2 wives with him, and then it just states their names, Ahinoam and Jezreel, and Abigail of Carmel, Nabal's widow. Word soon reached Saul that David had fled to Gath, so he quit hunting for him. One day David said to Achish, My lord, if it is all right with you, I would rather live in one of the country towns instead of here in the royal city." So Achish gave him Ziklag, which still belongs to the king of Judah to this day, and they lived there among the Philistines for a year and 4 months. He and his men spent their time raiding the Gershonites and the Gizriites and the Amalekites, people who had lived near shore along the road to Egypt ever since ancient times. They didn't leave one person alive in the villages they hit, and took for themselves the sheep, oxen, donkey, camels, and clothing before returning to their homes. "Where did you make your raid today?" Ashken would ask, and David would reply, "Against the south of Judah and the people of Jerusalem and the Canaanites." Canaanites? I think that's what it is. Canaanites? I don't know if I'm reading that wrong, but No one was left alive to come to Gath and tell where he had really been. This happened again and again while he was living among the Philistines. Achish believed David and thought that the people of Israel must hate him bitterly by now. Now he will have to stay here and serve me forever, the king thought. About that time, the Philistines mustered their armies for another war with Israel. Come and fight us. Come and help us fight, King Achish. I'm going to keep saying Achish, Achish. Said to David and his men. Good, David agreed. You will soon see what a help we can be to you. If you shall be my personal bodyguard for life, Achish told him. Meanwhile, Samuel had died, and all Israel had mourned for him. He was buried in Ramah, Ramah, his hometown. King Saul had banned all mediums and wizards from the land of Israel. The Philistines set up their camps at Shunem, and Saul and the armies of Israel were at Gilboa. When Saul saw the vast army of the Philistines, he was frantic with fear and asked the Lord what he should do. But the Lord refused to answer him, even by dreams or by Urim. Where was that? Sorry. Or by the prophets. Saul then instructed his aides to try and find a medium so that he could ask her what to do. Sorry, I don't know what that noise was. Somebody keeps making a weird noise outside. Find a medium so they could ask her what to do. And they found one at Endor. Saul disguised himself by wearing ordinary clothing instead of his royal robes. He went to the woman's house at night, accompanied by 2 of his men. I've got to talk to a dead man, he pleaded. Will you bring his spirit up? Are you trying to get me killed? The woman demanded. You know that Saul has had all of the mediums and fortune tellers executed. You are spying on me. But Saul took a solemn oath that he wouldn't betray her. Finally, the woman said, Well, whom do you want me to bring up? Bring me Samuel, Saul replied. When the woman saw Samuel, she screamed, You've deceived me. You are Saul. Don't be frightened, the king said. The king told her. What did you see, or what do you see? I see a spectator coming up out of the earth, she said. What does he look like? He is an old man wrapped in a robe. Saul realized that it was Samuel, and bowed low before him. Why have you betrayed me? Why have you disturbed me by bringing me back? Samuel asked Saul. Because I am in deep trouble, he replied. The Philistines are at war with us, and God has left me and won't reply by prophets or dreams. So I have called for you to ask you what you should do, to ask you what to do. My bad. Oop, and my phone just fell. Sorry about that. I'm trying to put my phone somewhere so my book doesn't keep, so my Bible doesn't keep like moving the pages because I got my fan on right now. But Samuel replied, Why ask me if the Lord has left you and has become your enemy? He has done just as he said he would and has taken the kingdom from you and gave it to your rival David. All this has come upon you because you did not obey the Lord's instructions. When he... Oh, crud. Upon you because you did not obey the Lord's instructions when he was so angry with Amalek. What's more, the entire Israel army will be rooted and destroyed by the Philistines tomorrow, and you and your sons will be here with me. Saul now fell full length upon the ground, paralyzed with fright because of Samuel's words. He was also faint with hunger, for he had eaten nothing all day. When the woman saw how distraught he was, she said, "Sir, I obeyed your command at the risk of my life. Now do what I say, and let me give you something to eat so you'll regain your strength for the trip back." But he refused. The men who were with him added their pleas to that of the woman until he finally yielded and got up and sat on the bed. The woman had been fattening a calf, so she hurried out and killed it and kneaded dough and baked unleavened bread. She brought the meal to the king and his men, and they ate it. Then they went out into the night. The Philistine army now mobilized at Apiach, and the Israelis camped at the springs in Jezreel. Jezreel. As the Philistine captains were leading out their troops by battalions, I think, and companies, don't know what that is. David and his men marched at the rear with King Achish. But the Philistine commanders demanded, "What are these Israelis doing here? And King Achish told them, "This is David, the runaway servant of King Saul of Israel. He's been with me for years, and I've never found one fault in him since he arrived." But the Philistine leaders were angry. "Send them back," they demanded. "They aren't going into battle with us. They'll turn against us. Is there any better way for him to reconcile himself with his master than by turning against us in the battle? This is the same man the women of Israel sang about in their dances. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. So Achish finally summoned David and his men. "I swear by the Lord," he told them, "you are some of the finest men I've ever met, and I think you should go with us. But my commanders say no. Please don't upset them, but go back quickly." "What have I done to deserve this treatment?" David demanded. "Why can't I fight your enemies?" But Achish insisted, "As far as I am concerned, you are perfect. You are as perfect as an angel of God, but my commanders are afraid to have you with them in battle. Now get up early in the morning and leave as soon as it is light." So David headed back into the land of the Philistines, while the Philistine army went to Jezreel. Okay, so I actually am going to read 4 pages because I'm kind of invested in this, and I'm about to be on Samuel 2, so I'm going to just keep reading. 3 days later, when David and his men arrived home at the city of Ziklag, they found that the Amalekites had raided the city and burned it to the ground, carrying off all the women and children. As David and his men looked at the ruins and realized what had happened to their families, they wept until they could weep no more. David's 2 wives, Ahinoam, whatever those names is, were among those who had been captured. David was seriously worried, for in their bitter grief for their children, his men began talking of killing him. But David took strength from the Lord. Then he said to, whatever that name is, the priest, "Bring me the ephod, ephod." So the priest brought it. David asked the Lord, "Shall I chase them? Will I catch them?" And the Lord told him, "Yes, go after them. You will recover everything that was taken from you." So David and his 600 men set out after the Amalekites. When they reached Bezor Brook, 200 of the men were too exhausted to cross. Sorry about that. Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry, my allergies are going crazy right now. What was that? 200 of the men were too exhausted to cross, but the other 400 kept going. Along the way, they found an Egyptian youth in the field and brought him to David. He had not had anything to eat or drink for 3 days and nights. So they gave him part of a fig cake, 2 clusters of raisins, and some water. And his strength soon returned. "Who are you and where do you come from?" David asked him. "I am an Egyptian, the servant of an Amalekite," he replied. "My master left me behind 3 days ago because I was sick. We were on our way back from raiding the Cherethites, Cherethites, in the Negeb, and had raided the south of Judah and the land of Caleb, and had burned Ziklag, I ain't even gonna try, Ziklag. "Can you tell me where they went?" David asked. The young man replied, "If you swear by God's name that you will not kill me or give me back to my master, then I will guide you to them." So he led them to the Amalekite encampment. They were spread out across the fields, eating and drinking and dancing with joy because of the vast amount of loot they had taken from the Philistines and from the men of Judah. David and his men rushed in among them and slaughtered them all. That night, the entire next day. And slaughtered them all that night and the entire next day. Until evening, No one escaped except 400 young men who fled on camels. David got back everything they had taken. The men recovered their families and all of their belongings, and David rescued his 2 wives. His troops rounded up all the flocks and herds and drove them on ahead of them. "These are all yours personally as your reward," they told David. When they reached Besor Brook and the 200 men who had been too exhausted to go on, David greeted them joyfully. But some of the ruffians among David's men declared, they didn't go with us, so they can't have any of the loot. Give them their wives and their children and tell them to be gone." But David said, "No, my brothers. The Lord has kept us safe and helped us defeat the enemies. Do you think that anyone will listen to you when you talk like this? We share alike, those who go to battle and those who guard the equipment." From then on, David made this a law for all of Israel, and it is still followed. When he arrived at Ziklag, he sent part of the loot to the elders from Judah. "Here's a present for you taken from the Lord's enemies," he wrote them. The gifts were sent to the elders in the following cities where David and his men had been: Bethel, South Ramoth, Jatir, Oror. So it's just a bunch of names basically of I'll show y'all what it looked like. Whoops. Sorry, the page keeps slipping up. Sorry about that. So right there, all of this, those are the names. So I'm going to skip those just because I really don't know how to read some of these names. Meanwhile, the Philistines had begun the battle against Israel, and the Israelis fled from them and were slaughtered wholesale on Mount Gilboa. I don't know. Gilboa. The Philistines closed in on Saul and killed his sons Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishun. Then the archers overtook Saul and wounded him badly. He groaned to his armor bearer, "Kill me with your sword before these heathen Philistines capture me and torture me." But his armor bearer so whoever's holding his armor, I guess, was afraid too. So Saul took his own sword, fell upon the point of the blade, and it pierced him through. When his armor bearer saw that he was dead, he also fell upon his sword and died with him. So Saul, his armor bearer, his 3 sons, and his troops died together that same day. When the Israelis on the other side of the valley and beyond the Jordan heard that their comrades had fled and that Saul and his sons were dead, they abandoned their cities, and the Philistines lived in them. The next day, when the Philistines went out to strip the dead, they found the bodies of Saul and his 3 sons on Mount Gilboa. They cut off Saul's head and stripped off his armor and sent the wonderful news of Saul's death to their idols and to the people throughout their land. His armor was placed in the temple of Ashtaroth, and his body was fastened to the well of Beth-shan. But when the people of Jabesh Gilead heard what the Philistines had done, warriors from that town traveled all night to Beth-shean and took down the bodies of Saul and his sons from the wall and brought them to Jabesh, where they cremated them. Then they buried their remains beneath the oak tree at Jabesh and fasted for 7 days. Saul was dead, and David had returned to Ziklag after slaughtering the Amalekites. 3 days later, a man arrived from the Israeli army with his clothes torn and with dirt on his head as a sign of mourning. He fell to the ground before David in deep respect. Where did you come from? David asked. From the Israeli army, he replied. What happened? David demanded. Tell me how the battle went. And the man replied, Our entire army fled. Thousands of men are dead and wounded in the field. And Saul and his sons Jonathan have been killed. How do you know they are dead? Because I was on Mount Gilboa and saw Saul, I don't know why I said it like that, saw Saul leaning against his spear, with the enemy chariots closing in upon him. When he saw me, he cried out for me to come to him. Who are you? He asked. An Amalekite, I replied. Come and put me out of my misery, he begged, for I am in terrible pain, but life lingers on. So I killed him, for I knew he couldn't live. Then I took his crown and one of the bracelets to bring to you. To bring to you, my lord. David and his men tore their clothes in sorrow. When they heard the news, they mourned and wept and fasted all day for Saul and his sons, Jonathan, and for the Lord's people, and for the men of Israel who had died that day. Then David said to his young men who had brought the news, Where are you from? And he replied, I am an Amalekite. Amalekite? I think I'm saying Amalekite. Why did you kill God's chosen king? David demanded. Then he said to one of his young men, kill him. So they ran him through with his sword, and he died. You die self-condemned, David said, for you yourself confessed that you killed God's appointed king. Then David composed a dirge for Saul and Jonathan, and afterward commanded that it be sung throughout Israel. Maybe that's like a song or something. It is quoted here from this book, Heroic Balance. O Israel, your pride and joy lies dead upon the hills. Mighty heroes have fallen. Don't tell the Philistines, lest they rejoice. Hide it from the cities of Gath. And Ashkelon, lest the heathen nations laugh in triumph. O Mount Gilboa, let there be no dew nor rain upon you. Let no crops or grain grow on your slopes. For there the mighty Saul has died. He is God's appointed king no more. Both Saul and Jonathan slew their strongest foes, and did not return from battle empty-handed. How much they were loved, how wonderful they were, both Saul and Jonathan. They were together in life and in death. They were swifter than eagles, stronger than lions. My pages are getting flipped. But now, O women of Israel, weep for Saul. He encouraged you with fine clothing. Oh, he enriched you with fine clothing and golden ornaments. These mighty heroes have fallen in the midst of battle. Jonathan is slain upon these hills. How I weep for you, my brother Jonathan. How much I loved you, and your love for me was deeper than the love of women. The mighty ones have fallen, stripped of their weapons and dead. David then asked the Lord, "Shall I move back to Judah?" And the Lord replied, "Yes. Which city shall I go?" And the Lord replied, Hebron. So David and his wives, Ahinoam, from Jezreel, and Abigail, the widow of Nabal, from Carmel, and his men, and their families all moved to Hebron. Excuse me. Then the leaders of Judah came to David and crowned him king of Judean confederacy. When David heard that the men of Jabesh Gilead had buried Saul, he sent them this message: "May the Lord bless you for being so loyal to your king, giving him a decent burial." Okay, that's all I'm gonna do for now. This is like a 26-minute video, so I'm gonna chill on that for right now. I'm gonna do my prayers. Thank God for the food that I got today. Thank God for letting me wake up today. Just pray for everybody around the world. Pray for my family, my friends. If you haven't prayed yet, I'm not going to force you to do it, obviously, but if this is like a reminder for you, I'm happy. You should pray. Thank God for everything that you have. Thank God for this beautiful life, for the beautiful day, even though over here it is scalding hot, so I don't even want to go outside. But when it cools down, I'm going to start going outside more, and that's when I'm really going to start making talking videos of me just talking about my faith and about the struggles that I go through, because I'm not about to lie to y'all and act like I'm better than anybody else. I struggle so much, especially now, because even now I be getting recommended videos of all these other, religions and all these other gods, and I look into them a lot. I've looked into a couple of these videos of people explaining their religions, and maybe I think something that's very interesting for me, which I don't personally believe in, but something that's interesting to think about, is some people say that every universe has its own god, and there's these multiple gods, and maybe our God is just one of them, and all this. And I mean, it's very interesting to think about, but a lot of the time in these videos, they do contradict themselves by saying that God never said he is the God of the universe, and a lot of other stuff, which, again, I don't really care. I think, in my own opinion, believe whatever you want. I do think that Jesus is the right way. I do think God is the right way, because it's worked for me, and it's worked for a lot of other people. But I could be wrong. I don't think so, but who knows? In my own opinion, I believe in Jesus because when I pray to him and when I pray to God for help, I do feel like I genuinely receive some help. I feel like God does have pity upon me sometimes. I don't think God is mad at me in any way. I don't think God gets mad at people. I think he gets disappointed. Obviously, in this Old Testament, it talks about, God's anger and God's wrath. But again, I don't really think that God, I'm sure he definitely probably could. Why wouldn't he? He's the one that gave us anger. He's the one that gave us wrath. So why wouldn't God have that as well for people? But I do feel like, especially with the new covenant that he made through Jesus Christ, I feel like we nowadays do not really feel God's wrath, depending on what you're doing. If you do something really bad, I'm sure you're definitely going to get some bad karma for that, and that could be God's wrath. So, who knows? But for me, I don't think that God is hateful. I do think God is jealous, but that's not a bad thing. For example, I know for me, I wish that my dad was jealous for my love. I wish that my dad went out of his way to talk to me and went out of his way to try to be there in my life, but that's just not how it really was. I'm not saying my dad was a bad dad at all. I thank God for my dad, but he wasn't really there for me, and by the time that he passed away, I just never really got to know him like that. So I don't think, in my own opinion, I don't think it's bad for God to be jealous. I don't see how that's a bad thing. You should be jealous for your child's love. If we are God's children, why wouldn't he be jealous of our love? Why wouldn't he want us to only love him? Because he's basically saying, I don't want you to worship fake idols that do nothing for you. I'd rather you love me. You don't even have to worship me. Just love me and I will love you back. And no matter what, I think God loves all of us. No matter what religion you are into, no matter what you do, I think God does care for all of us. That's why he wants us to turn away from bad decisions. But some of us don't want to give up certain decisions. We don't want to give up certain things that we like. And that's just how certain people are. And I've definitely watched a lot of videos of people explaining how, like, well, their own view on how God is bad and how God doesn't love us or care for us. But in my own opinion, I have not experienced that. I've done a lot of horrible things, and I have not once experienced God's anger. I've experienced God maybe stepping away from me for a little bit to let me realize, like, hey, I need to get better. I can't just keep asking God for forgiveness and then doing the same thing over and over again. I need to actually try. And I'm thankful for that. I'm not going to be mad at God because humans do bad things. That's not... In my own opinion, I think God gave us free will, and he made that promise to us that he would give us free will. So he's not going to take that back. As much as some people want to say, well, I wish that we didn't have free will because then this, that, and the third. If humans did not have free will and we were just like controlled animals, people would hate God even more. And we wouldn't even have the opinion to like or hate God. So if anything, that's a pretty loving God in my opinion. He gave us all free will to do what we want. Clearly he cares about us. The people who do turn to him, the people that do love him and that try to open their heart to him, a lot of us, maybe not... For me, honestly, I think everybody that truly opens their heart to God, especially when you get older and you can understand more, I do think a lot of these people realize how much God does love and care for us. Okay, sorry, I'm back. But yeah, I personally haven't seen all this hate of God. Alright, but again, I personally have not seen God's wrath, and I don't think I've experienced it. I don't blame God for the choices I've made. I blame myself, and I really don't want to blame anything. I've made certain decisions, and I'm glad that I've gotten lessons out of all of those, but I hate the things that I've done, unfortunately. So that's just how life is. You know, you're going to do bad things, you're going to learn lessons from it, and maybe that's why God allows us to do bad things, so that we can learn a lesson. But again, just hopefully... just try to take everything as a lesson. Try to take this whole life as a lesson of how to get better on something or how to do better. I think personally we're all here to try. I think God put us here in this world, and I think God allows suffering so that we can all learn how to be happy in any circumstance. Because if you can be happy no matter what's going on, if you can truly have love for people no matter how bad somebody's hurt you, no matter what's happening, and you can truly just be happy, you've already battled everything. If you can truly be happy, that's enough, honestly. And I don't really think that we're all ever going to be happy fully, but I do think there's a lot of people, especially for me when I've looked at older Christians and older Orthodox, I do feel like they did find like true happiness in their opinion. They found that, hey, I can sit here in any situation, no matter death, no matter sickness, I can sit here and thank God for whatever. I think that that's a good thing. I go through a lot of things every day. I go through a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. I'm honestly pretty certain that I have bipolar disorder because I'm not going to say I do because I have not gone checked out for a lot of things, and I probably should. And I do kind of want to get a mental evaluation just so I really know what I'm dealing with. But I do feel like I probably do have some symptoms of, bipolar. And it really sucks. It sucks waking up and just having a bad dream and that ruins my whole day, or maybe just hearing something or seeing something and then my whole day feels like it's ruined. But I've been able to turn that into me just saying, okay, I had a bad day, but I'm still going to lean on God. I'm still going to tell God all of my issues, and I'm just going to be honest. I don't sit in front of my candles and say, oh, God, I'm so thankful for everything and I'm happy always. No, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say, Father God, I am not perfect right now. I kind of need your help. Help me think of better things. Help me change my mind. Help me realize all the things that I'm grateful for. Help me be able to tell myself how good I actually have it. I have a good life. I don't have a bad, insufferable life. Even people in other countries, even the Christians right now that are being killed for their belief, even they find ways to be happy every day. And that's either through God or just through whatever happiness they can find. That's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing to be able to be happy in any situation. And some people might tell you that you're insane and, oh, there is no God because I know this and I know that. I've had so many people just outright lie to me and say, oh, I'm a spiritual worker and I know for a fact there's no God. You don't. You are lying. I'm sorry, but you are 100% lying. I don't care what you've seen or what you've heard, you are lying. For me, I am not 100% sure that God is real. I'm going to be completely honest. Do I have faith that God is real? Yes. I have faith that Jesus Christ is real. 100%. I know Jesus Christ is real, actually. That's just a proven fact. And I have faith that he was the Son of God. So for me, it's just, and I like to think about stuff very logically. And in my opinion, there is no way that our world and universe is designed just by accident. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that our universe was just made one day by accident, especially not this Earth. How do two flaming balls of fire, which I've looked it up, before the Earth got created, these were two meteors, or maybe not meteors, two rocks, whatever it was, two giant things that had fire on them, literally burning because they were out in space. And they collided into each other, which, again, friction, that would create even more fire, or even more heat. Maybe not fire, but heat. And somehow, out of nowhere, water comes onto this Earth, planet comes onto this Earth, life comes onto this Earth. And sure, it could have happened. There's a chance that, yeah, it could have happened. There's a big chance God isn't real, and there's a big chance that God is real. It's a 50-50, which in my opinion, that's even more proof of me, or for me to believe that there is some type of God. We're never going to get all the proof that we need to believe in God. You have to have faith. That's why it's so important for me. That's why I feel like I have found my truth. And you know what? If somebody who's watching this doesn't believe in God, but you like my message, I am happy with that. I do not care what you believe in. If you have found your purpose in this life, God bless you. I am happy. That is what we should all do. Find your purpose in this life. But I think a lot of people need God. I think a lot of us who are lonely, who need somebody to lean on, I think that's the people that Jesus came here for. He came here for the sinners, not for the righteous. He came here for the people that need him. Because God already knows everything. He knows everything that was going to happen. He knows everything that will happen and everything that could have happened. So he knows for a fact we needed something. And maybe he realized, or maybe he knew from the beginning, that I need to make certain things happen so that this religion has the best chance of going out into the world. And obviously, again, he is all-powerful, but he gave humans free will. So that's why so many books have been burned. We've lost so many things of the Bible, of the original Bible. We've lost so much. But the one thing that has always stayed is the actual message of love and trying to be peaceful, trying to be righteous. Maybe we can't be perfect, but we can try. We can try it. Be like children. Children, when they hurt somebody, they apologize. They don't mean to do it. They don't mean to hurt somebody's feelings. They don't mean to do this. They don't mean to do that. Be like children. If you make a mistake, apologize. Don't be like adults nowadays where we think, oh, if I've hurt somebody, I don't owe you an apology. Why should I have to apologize to you because someone hurt me and you did that to me and you did this to me? No. Be innocent like children. Try to form your mind to be innocent as children so that you're not thinking of all these destructive thoughts. You're not having all these destructive habits. Kids just enjoy life. I know when I was a kid, I still had a lot of issues, but I still enjoyed life. I went outside, I was all carefree, running around with my friends, playing in the grass, and I miss that, and I want to do that more. I want to be able to go outside and climb trees and just chill, which I'm getting a little bit better at. I'm getting a little bit better at just enjoying my life. Even though I've done horrible things and I still can't forgive myself in any capacity, I am learning to still realize that as long as I am trying to be better, that's good. There's nothing ever wrong with trying to be a good person. I don't care what anybody says. If you are trying to be a good person, that is good. For me, God has helped me so much. God has given me family members. God has given me certain people. God has let me have certain talks with people that I needed to have. And before I found God, I couldn't. I could not talk to people about my issues because I wanted to act all hard and all serious, and I didn't want to let people know that I was actually dying inside. And now I got no problem with it. I got no problem with telling people, hey, I'm not, if I'm not doing the best, I do not have an issue going to God and telling him, hey, I want to talk to somebody today. Can you give me the strength to just talk to my family about how I'm feeling? And I can do that. I will talk to them and let them know, hey, I'm not doing the best. I need somebody's help. And it's just, I don't know. It's different for everybody. Everybody finds God at a different point of their life. And I just think, life is too short to waste it on worldly things, on money, power, and all this other stuff that doesn't make any sense, because when you die, you lose all of that, no matter what you believe in. When you die, you do not take anything with you. You're dead. You're gone. That chance is over. All this stuff that you want to live through in this life, you want to get money, you want to get power, you want to get girlfriends, wives, whatever, all of that stuff will fade away unless it is actual true love. Money will not give you true love. Cars will not give you true love. Houses, all of that will be wiped away. The love that God gives us, and the love that you can get through marriage as well, true love, that will stay. I believe that God will stay with all of us, and I believe that our souls were created by God, and when we die, that's where we go. We go to God. And he's the final judge, I believe, at least in my opinion. I think God is the final judge, and I think when we all die, all of us are going to get judged righteously. If you didn't have a chance to believe in God, and if you were a really good person, you will be judged righteously. So I kind of went off on a rant again. I'm sorry about that, but I just wanted to talk a little bit more about God, because it's just, for me, it's thinking about all the things that I've done and how badly I was addicted to certain things and how much issues I was facing. Just to see where I'm at right now, where I'm still going through issues, but I can somehow find peace. I can somehow sit down and say, you know what? I want to have a peaceful life with whatever time I have left on this world. I want it to be peaceful. I want it to be filled with prayer. I want it to be filled with things like, I want to spend the rest of my life with my family and my friends, and I want to spend the rest of my life with God. I want to tell God every day that I'm thankful for everything you've given me. That brings me peace, being able to just think about all the things that I truly do have. And it's just, I don't know. For me, in my opinion, God is the one that's helped me get through the most stuff in my life. I've went through therapy, and that did help me, but I wasn't able to be honest. With God, I was able to be fully honest, and I told God everything. Because honestly, I realized God already knows what I've done. God already knows everything that I've done. So, if he chose to judge me, that's his choice, but I have not felt this judgment, at least not yet. For me, whenever I pray, I feel calm, I feel rested, and I don't know, it's just peaceful. I think living this life is very peaceful, and life is what you make of it, no matter what. So for me, I'm just, personally, I'm going to continue on with my walk with God. If anything changes, I'll let my friends know and everything, but I don't feel like it will. I think that I'm going to continue living with God because I just want to be a good person. I truly just want to be a good person, and God has helped me with that more than anybody else in my life. So again, I don't mean to rant at all. I'm sorry about all that. I just have so much thoughts going through my head right now, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I found God the way that I did. I'm thankful that I wasn't forced into church or anything like that. I haven't even been to church that much, but I don't know. I'm just thankful. So again, if this video does help you out at all, I know this is a very long video. It's like 43 minutes of me just talking, but if you found this video useful at all, if you think that you want to get into believing in God, I would say look up some videos of older Orthodox church members. Orthodox, I kind of believe more in Orthodox church because they are one of the oldest, at least the oldest, Christian religions around right now. And I really do believe that they kind of have it spot on because they admit a lot that they're not perfect. Even these monks that live a life that God probably wants us all to live, where they're going to get their own food, they're going to grow their own crops, they're living in these places, they built their own houses. I truly do feel like that's what God wants us all to do. Some of us unfortunately can't do it because we're not strong enough and we don't have the willpower for that, but if you ask God, I'm sure anything could happen. But even with these monks, they will admit perfectly fine. They have no problem admitting that they fall every day, whether that be in their head or whether that be physically, they fall. But their whole point of view is that if you fall down, you should be able to get up facing God and repent, and God will take you back. And I believe that. I 100% believe if you fall down, if you do something wrong and you know it's wrong and you truly do regret it, get up, repent, face God and tell him what you've done, because he already knows what you've done. But he wants you to tell him. He doesn't want you to just be in your head like, oh, you already know what I've done. But even if it's just in your head, just tell God, I'm sorry for what I've done and I don't want to do it again. I want to make changes. Even with repetitive sin, whether that be lust or cussing or drugs, every time you fall, get up and face God. Do not think that God hates you or that he's mad at you, but know that God wants you to do better. That's why they call him God the Father. That's what a father should be. A father shouldn't abandon their kid ever. A father should always want their kid to do better. A father should be jealous of their kid's love. A father shouldn't just want their kid to go look at another grown man and think, oh, that's my dad. No. A father should want their kid's love. You're the father. At least that's what I think. I think dads should be in their kids' life, and unfortunately, especially in this generation, a lot of us do not have dads, and that affects us all very differently. I know for me it affected me a lot, but I still have a lot. I have things every day that I can look upon and thank God for. My grandmother, my mother, everything, my friends, my family. I can thank God for pretty much everything in my life. So I'm just finding out ways every day to be thankful for different things. And God is a big part of that. So I just, I think God is true. I think Jesus Christ is the right way to heaven. And again, we'll all find out eventually. When we all pass away, we will all find out. But I promise you, I will die on the fact that God and Jesus are my saviors. And they have helped me out more than anything. More than drugs, more than anything else. So that's just my opinion. And I mean, that's just how I feel, I'm going to make another video trying to go just in depth on how I found my faith and how I think others should try, or how maybe I think, but these are all just my opinions. I could be very wrong, but this is just my opinion. I think everybody, when you start believing in God, when you give your life to God, you go through different things. God knows that we are all different, but we are all made in his image, so he knows how to help us. So just let God help you, whatever way that is. If you have to give up certain things, give them up. It's not worth it. It's not worth doing drugs and killing yourself over anything. So just know that. I know this is a very long video. I don't know if anybody's going to make it to the whole thing, but if you do watch this whole video and you've learned anything, or if this has helped you out with literally anything, I am very happy. That is my whole purpose. I want to help people because I know I wish that I got help sooner, and I want to help other people. So thank you guys for watching. I love you all so much. God loves you. Jesus loves you. And, have a great day. Peace out.